everybody. Good morning to you. So, today's vlog is going to be about food and mood. Okay, so the impact of what we put in our body in relation to food has an impact on our mood, right? Because our mental health and our physical health are totally connected. Our brain is part of the physical body. So, what we eat, how we fuel ourselves, there's a lot of good research to show that has an impact on mood, either positive or negative. So we don't have to be perfect, okay? This isn't about having some perfect clean eating regime. I really encourage people to move away from seeing foods as good or bad, right? There's no good or bad food, it's just all food. There's just some food is more nutritious as fuel to our body than other foods. So it's really thinking about, am I getting all the nutrients I need for my brain to work its best? So there's a lot of research around this stuff, heaps and heaps of publications around it, but there seems to be some key points that everybody agrees on, okay? So all the research tends to agree that we need lots and lots of vegetables, right? So particularly green leafy vegetables and a variety of vegetables, right? A little bit of fruit in there too, but really veggies. We want, most of our diet to be made up of really good quality fresh vegetables. Also, people tend to agree that we need really good lean protein sources. Okay, so that can be, obviously all your lean meats, eggs, yogurt has good protein in it, tofu, things like this, fish. So good lean protein sources. Obviously, if you're a veggie or a vegan, you got to get creative with that and make sure that you're getting your protein, but super important for brains. Also, everybody tends to agree that omega-3s are really, really important for brain health. So a lot of psychiatrists I know routinely prescribe omega-3 supplements whenever they prescribe an antidepressant. That's considered pretty good practice. And we know for good mental health, we probably need pretty high levels of omega-3s. So oily fishes are where we get those. So salmons and tunas are really great sources. There are other products that have extra omega-3s in them, but not in huge levels. But if you're okay with oily fish like salmon and tuna, you can eat that stuff all the time. You can eat that every day. Really, really good for your brain. If you want to think about a supplement can be a good idea if you're not into oily fish or you just want to sort of, top up your levels. Again, we need pretty high levels of omega-3 for really good brain health. So there's a ton of supplements around. This is the one that I use. They're not paying me or anything. This is just what I personally use. It's a 2,000 milligram a day supplement. I like this one because you only have to take one tablet, right? They're pretty big. You can also buy the oil. I personally can't stomach that, but I know some people are fine with that. But I like the highly potent ones because I only have to take one of them. Also, if you're in Australia, this brand screens for mercury because you don't want that in your supplements, obviously. So get your omega-3s into you, super important. The other vitamins that are really, really good for brain health, B vitamins, and particularly B12. So we know that B12 is really important for stress management, and people that have had low B12, they often describe this sort of like foggy brain feeling that they can't really shift. And so the best way to find out if you're low in B12 is to get a really good set of fasting bloods done through your doctor, okay? And actually, I think that if you are struggling with your mental health, it's always a good idea to get a full physical workup before you decide what you're going to do about it. So a full blood screen will show you where your B12 levels are at, along with other things. So you can really see if you're lacking in anything. And then you don't spend a ton of money on supplements you don't need. And you can actually figure out if something is lacking, and then you can add supplements or you can eat more of things. Now, B12 come from animal products, okay? So again, dairy, eggs, meats, fishes. So if you're a vegan, you'd probably be aware that B12 can be problematic for you. I know some vegans get B12 injections every few months or take supplements. Some people don't absorb B12 very well through their food. I'm one of those people. So I went for a blood test and my doctor said, oh, your B12's a little bit low, even though I eat plenty of animal products. And so he recommended a supplement. So I take, again, they're not paying me, but I take this one, which is It's a sublingual tablet, okay? So it's a high dose sublingual. You put it under your tongue. So that means that if you're like me and you don't absorb B12 through the gut, it gets into your system that way. Really, really cleared up that brain fog feeling for me. Made a big difference. So if you're concerned about your B12 or if you get that kind of brain fog, go and see your doctor, check things out. If you're struggling with mental health, just go and get a full blood test anyways, see where things are at nutritionally, okay? So those are the big points that I want to touch on. Again, there's lots and lots of information around about this stuff. I've just finished reading this really great book by Dr. Terry Wahls, The Wahls Protocol. This is about particularly, so Dr. Terry Wahls has a program for MS sufferers, but she talks a lot about all of the research around lots of different health conditions, including mental health. She's got a good TED Talk. You can Google her and look her stuff up. So I found that super informative. I've recommended that to a few of my patients to kind of read that stuff and check it out. It's a pretty strict protocol. It's probably more extreme than any of us are going to do, but it's got some good stuff, particularly around just upping our vegetable intake. All right, so it's not about perfection. You can still have, your treats and your little bit of junk food and stuff, but we want to make sure that most of the time we're feeding our brain what it wants to work best. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. Catch ya.